Web automation and web scraping. So I wanted to make this video or this video series as as a beginner's guide on how to do web automation and web scraping. So the environment I thought would be best to work in is Java notebooks. That environment's a good place to work if you're a beginner, and if PyCharm might be a bit too difficult for you, then it's a good place to start. So you want to go about installing this, but you don't install it in the common way. So you'd do it through your terminal or your CMD shell. So, for example, what I would say here is, assuming I have Python 3 installed, when you have Python 3 installed, you want to navigate so your path is in that is directed to that environment, and you'll do something like pip install notebook. And as you can see, I've already installed it, so nothing really was, you can see requirements already satisfied. Yeah, so that's that installed. When we get started, we need to import some packages. So the packages we're going to need for this are BeautifulSoup, so pip install bs4, and pandas. I mean, generally pandas is always a good thing to keep. WebDriver Manager and Selenium. Okay, so after you've downloaded all those packages, you want to put them in place. So let's say from Selenium import WebDriver. Oh, spell that. From WebDriver underscore manager dot Chrome import Chrome driver manager, and from BS4, so BeautifulSoup, import BeautifulSoup. No module named that. I forgot the A. Okay, so talking through each one, this allows us to automate a browser. This provides us with the latest browser window, because if you didn't use that, then you'd have to manually download the web driver. So that would be, you have to manually download a web Chrome version that is compatible with that, and that's a real nightmare. So this takes a lot of the burden off us. And then this allows us to pull data from HTML elements in a more reliable way than Selenium would. So yeah, driver equals web driver dot Chrome. So this is where we specify our executable path. So we're specifying this. It's just easier doing it this way. Install, and then we want to specify the URL we want to go to. So that will be .get. So I thought we could do the BBC, since they're a fairly easy website to navigate. So you can see it's doing its thing. Okay, so you can see here that a new window is open, and you can see Chrome is being controlled by an automated test software. So bingo, what we were doing before. Okay, so if we go back into our code and we look at the driver and the page source. So if we press tab, it should show us functions that are applicable with this object. So page source, you can see this is pretty much the HTML that we can get from the driver. And if we store that into a variable, and we now pass it into soup, so beautiful soup, our HTML element, and then we need to specify what we are passing this data as. So we are passing it as HTML. And so if we display what soup looks like, you can see this is all our stuff. It's quite clunky. And now if we then, so since we have this page up, I'm thinking let's pull all the links that are available on the site and see what we can look at. So I want to pull all the hrefs, let's say. So hrefs are when you click on a button or something, it navigates you to a new URL link. So let's pull them. So if we say something like soup.find all, so we want to find all, and we know that these hrefs are, well, the ones for the page are available here. And if we say inspect, oh, it's gone pretty small now. Dock it back. You can see when we clicked on home and said inspect, you can see we have this sort of structure here. So we have a list as specified with UL and LI. We have a sort of list-like structure, and we have this particular link. So we have a class nw-o-link with a href-news. So when we click on that, it should take us to the /news. Bear in mind, this is the base URL. It will specify everything else after that. So if we go to something like the coronavirus, specify that, you can see that the link there is /news/coronavirus, and so on and so forth. So they all have their different types, but they are more there, and it does kind of go into that a bit more. So knowing that, we can then say that we know it starts with an A. So then go back to it, it'll be easier to show. If we So let's just paste that here so we know what we're looking at. So you can see that. So you can see we're going to start here by looking for an A. So we're going to look for an A. And then we're going to specify what we're going to drill into. So we know that it has a class next to it. So we're going to say class. We're then going to say nw-o-link. And that finds us all of these links. Well, they're not necessarily links, but those are the symbols that are similar, or the elements that are similar. So what we can therefore say then is that all of them have this sort of structure now. So substructures. So you've got this, and then you've got an href at the end of it, and then a title for the button, and then a span, and then ends with an A. So let's call these sub or partial links. Call it half, because they're not fully links yet, so we'll call them half links. And they are stored into a list. So if we say half and show them again, so we know that they are in a sort of list-like structure. So what we can say is for, let's say half link, so let's say that HL in, or we'll just give it a full name, half link in half links link is equal to half link. So when we have that, the first element, we'll have that as an object, and then in Beautiful Soup you can specify attributes. So okay, it's not showing it now, but we say attribute as attrs, and we want to specify the href which is next to it. So href, and let's just print it out so we know what we're looking at. So you can see here, let's make a set. So a set basically doesn't allow duplicates. So if we say set of links equals set, and we say something like set of links dot add link. So, and then if we specify we want to see what the set of links look like, then you can see we've got a none, we've got I believe that's Welsh, we've got no duplicates, and we've got some that end in a HTTPS, and we've got two at the end that are complete rubbish to us. So if we then say we know the empty one's at the top, and we know that we don't want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, so if we say something like yeah, so you have a sorted list, you then convert it to a list and then do that, then you have sorted list and run the sort function, which then sorts your list out. So if I run something like this, you can see that the list looks sorted, and we didn't want the last 9 of the first one, so we can then therefore specify let's minus another one as well. Yeah, so you can see these are all like partial links. P-links, because So then finally, if we wanted to do something interesting with this, we could then say for links in p underscore links driver dot get. Now we know the base URL will be something along the lines of https / bbc 123 dot bbc.co.uk / and then the string we're going to add after to that. So that would be links. And then we can import from time and say time dot sleep for, let's say, 3 seconds. And so if we run this, let's just do a test before we do that. Okay, so let's give this a test. So item 1 of the list, and then item 2, item 3. Okay, so that seems to work. And let's just run this function. And let's print out what the actual link is as well. Print links. So the Welsh one, not too sure which one that is. Maybe Scottish. Uh, the main one, business, subcategory of business, another subcategory of business, business sport, companies. Okay, so you get the idea. It's basically just going through every link, appending it on. Well, you can see kind of issue there. It's done double forward slash. Hmm, could have removed that when I did that. But yeah, you get the idea. I'll save this as well. So just to round off, this is how you use Selenium and BeautifulSoup to automate. If you're doing a type of you're doing data gathering for either stock analysis or whatever, or you're doing it to automate social media accounts. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. That's all. Thanks.